Hello, this is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Friday, August 1st, 2014. Yes, we're already into August 2014. That is amazing. Here's a look at the S&P index in the form of the futures, the ES front-run futures contract. Kept talking about the fact that we had that 13 sell signal back at the beginning of July. We were kind of dipped a little, came back to retest what's called the risk line from that move. Dipped again, tried to retest, and then on earnings, when nobody was really doing much, we kind of broke it a little bit-ish, but I felt like it was still in play because earnings season is sort of its own little thing. And so here we are on Friday or on Thursday. We sold off sharply. Of course, all the news headlines are down for the month of July. Everything's sold off. It's crazy. Yeah. If you look at this chart, does this really look like we're down for anything significant? It doesn't yet. This is nothing. I'm not saying it's not the start of something bigger because I think the signal itself suggests that we may have some more downside ahead, and I've just been waiting a month and had to sit through the last month of sideways action to get there. Obviously, for us, the red line, the 1860 area, the static trend line, is the target. But I mean, overall, you wouldn't look at this and be like, "Ooh, the market's in panic mode." Like, this is no big deal. We're still in the June range, barely under the July range. The headlines are crazy. This is what they have to do in the media to make things exciting. July down now. It's nuts. So I wouldn't panic from that perspective. There was some news with Argentina going BK, some stuff out of Russia with the Ukraine situation. Obviously, the Israeli situation doesn't look great. The GDP number was fine. It looked great. We've got the unemployment data Friday morning, along with a lot of other data. Non-farm payrolls, which is part of unemployment. Personal income and spending, PC prices, that's all an hour before the bell. We've got the final look at Michigan sentiment for the month of July. That's around 9:55 a.m. Eastern time, or as we like to joke, whenever the kids wake up, because it's from the U of Michigan. ISM index at 10, along with construction spending. It's a lot of data early, but let's face it, we had a big gap down yesterday on Thursday and ran lower. I wouldn't say ran. We shuffled around a bit for the first 90 minutes and eventually went lower. This chart doesn't really show the gap because the futures are continuous, but it was pretty much a gap. Half the move was on a gap. So for Friday, what are we going to get? Hopefully not another gap, and certainly, on a summer Friday, we're still expecting what we've been seeing for most of July, which is not a lot. So I'm not saying we're going to sell off sharply, but certainly with all the news in the first before the market in the first 30 minutes, we could get some action for the first 2 hours. And then people will start to head out for the long week, or not for the long weekend, for the weekend. So just be aware of that. That's what we're really looking for. Is this going to turn into something ugly come August? It could. August is historically a positive month. The last 20 years, it's been a negative month. We still have that static trend line as a target. Again, if you went back to 1860, you wouldn't call it a market crash. You'd just call it a general correction that's normal. Trying to get the market to pause. By the way, we haven't really had those types of corrections a lot over the last 3 or 4 years, so having one is not the end of the world either. So the 1860 level will be the interesting level on the S&P or the ES futures if we head back there. If we don't head back there, hey, whatever. September tends to be better trading, better volume, and then, of course, as volume picks up in September, that leads us into the best 6 months of the year from a trading environment. So we're going to get away from the light volume that we've seen. That's really all I have to focus on. I'm not going to go through individual stocks. I won't talk about the ranges from the last day. This is a Friday in the summer. There is a lot of data. That's why this might be interesting early on. But don't get too wrapped up in anything after the first 2 hours because, again, summer Friday, people go away. They go off with their families. If nobody's trading, you shouldn't be trading. It doesn't help. It doesn't make things move better. We'll get back to normal in a month or so. But with all this data, I got to think there's going to be some opportunities in the first 2 hours or so. So we'll see what happens. Have a great trading session. We will talk to you then.